Hey guys, just coming to you with our lesson today. We're going to start talking about setting and characters and how these things affect our characters. So we're going to look at this lesson. It's comparing and contrasting settings and events. Now, comparing and contrasting, we talked a little bit about those yesterday. When we compare something, it means that they're similar, and when they're contrasting, it means they're different. So we're going to talk about those. So our learning target is using details to compare and contrast settings or events in a story will help you better understand what the story is about. So we're going to read this part. The setting. This is a vocabulary word. You had it last time. The setting is where a story takes place. When you compare and contrast settings, you consider how the scenes are alike and how the scenes are different. When you compare and contrast events, you consider how the things that will happen are similar or different. So looking at the details will help you see the similarities and differences. So we're going to compare and contrast two settings and events from the movie Wizard of Oz. In the photographs, look at the details about the place and what is happening. So I'm going to scroll down. I want you to take a look at this. Now, if you're familiar with The Wizard of Oz is a book. And if you are familiar with Wicked, Wicked is a prequel to The Wizard of Oz, which means it comes before Dorothy visits. Now, Dorothy, we know that Dorothy is a little girl from Kansas who she's about your age, and she is wishing to be somewhere else because something happens with her dog, Toto. Now, in The Wizard of Oz, what's going on? The background is we understand that Dorothy is transported somewhere else to the land of Oz via a tornado. So let's take a look at these two settings. What do you notice about this? I'll give you a minute to think. Just look at the settings. Let's compare them. So what's similar about these? Well, we know that Dorothy is in both scenes, right? So we see her. She's in both scenes. What else can you see? What else do you notice? Well, immediately I notice that in one scene, it's black and white, right? And in the other scene, it's in what? It's in color, correct? That's the whole point. Kansas at the time, during the Dust Bowl, if you remember that, was gray and dreary and, this is how she felt about where she lived. There was no excitement. It was, there's nothing going on. And she longed to go other places. Well, where did she long to go? She longed to go for exciting places. So here we see she is transported into a land where there's lots of color, right? Now, at the time, to explain the background of this movie, Judy Garland was played Dorothy. And in this particular film, color television the advances for color film had just come out. So they were able to make this film without any problem to show. And at the time, it was an amazing thing to see. All right, so let's go scroll on down, and we're going to take a look here at our lesson. So I want you to sit here, and what have you learned so far, comparing and contrasting the settings and events. Complete the chart below with some details about the setting and the event in each photograph. Well, let's take a look at the left-hand photo. In the left-hand photo, we notice what? It's a farm, right? This is the place. This is where it is taking place, a farm in Kansas. Now, what about the setting? What can you tell me about the setting? What's going on here? Let's look at it again. So just noticing that the left-hand photo, let's just look at that one. What's the setting look like? All right, so the place is a farm in Kansas. The setting is gray, dreary, I would say, or gray, or kind of right, dreary, gray, dreary, gloomy, right? Setting is gray, dreary, and gloomy. There's no color, right? Now, the event. What do you think the event is here? Well, I'm going to say the event on this side is she is at her farm in Kansas. All right. So that she's at her farm in Kansas. She is maybe sad because why? The scenery, right? The scenery. So she may be sad because of the scenery. Now let's take a look at the other one. Look at this. So we notice that in this particular one on the right-hand side is in color, right? What do we notice in this scene? What do you see in the photo? Take a minute to think. What do you see in the photo? Well, I know that in the right photo, they're in the land of Oz. The setting is bright and colorful, right? The setting is bright and colorful. I also noticed that one of the characters looks sad. We know that character to be the Tin Man, right? I should have put a comma there, sorry. All right. What's the event? Do we know? If you know the background, you do. Well, it looks like in this particular part that these two characters they look caring. They look like they're trying to make the middle character feel better. So I'm going to put that. The event, let's see. The middle character, I know him as the Tin Man, looks sad, and Dorothy I think it's O. Yeah, Dorothy and the Scarecrow are trying to make the Tin Man feel better. Okay, so that's what it looks like to me. So now I want you to take a look, and I want you to talk about the similarities and the differences in the events. See if you came out with something different. And what details from the pictures did you use to figure out the settings and events? Did you describe the settings and events in the same way? I want you to use these words as you talk about the text. You're comparing, contrasting, setting, event, and details. I want you to use those words, okay? Now, for your guided practice today, or for your practice today, I want you, if I can get this thing to move, I want you to read the pocket watch. And this is for your own. I want you to read the pocket watch, and then I want you to complete the chart comparing the setting and the events of paragraph 1 with the setting and events in paragraphs 3 through 6. I want you to choose the settings to fit the particular event and discuss how the two settings help you imagine the events you describe in your chart. Then I want you to write a short response comparing and contrasting the main settings of the pocket watch. Use the details to describe your similarities and differences. Use the space provided to write your answer. Hint, try using terms such as alike, unalike, similar, different, and in contrast in your response. All right, so that is what your work is today. So classwork is, we're going to read the pocket watch, and then we're going to do the work on this page, page 109. We're going to read page 108, and then we are going to answer page 109, just page 108 and 109 today. All right? So if you guys have any questions, just email me. Have a good day.